I was so shy and so quiet and fearful of anybody taking notice of me that I was the person in the back of the room who was afraid to sneeze in high school because I didn't want anybody even knowing that I was back there. I not only was I terrified of public speaking, but I was also exquisitely bad at it too. I mean, I was terrible.
Hey guys, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories, where we share with you real life stories of motivation and inspiration, persistence. Hopefully you can relate and in the process live your absolute best life as well. And today I'm really excited to welcome Kerry Barrett to the show. Kerry, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories.
I am really excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak. I love your story. I find your story inspirational. So I'm excited to share some of my knowledge with your audience as well.
All right. No, we're glad to have you. So tell us, first of all, what it is that you do, Kerry. How do you serve? How do you bring value to the lives of your clients?
Well, my business is Kerry Barrett Consulting. We launched about 1.5 years ago. I came to this business from a 20-year career as a television news anchor. So I'm taking the skills I learned in that field and I am translating that into helping my clients grow their personal and professional brand and their business. So what does that look like? Well, it looks like public speaking training. It looks like on-camera readiness and media training for small business owners and personal brands. It often involves assistance with creating DIY marketing videos for their businesses as well, video brand stories. I'm a visual storyteller and I use video and your own sort of body language and expression when it comes to public speaking to help people tell their story.
That sounds amazing. So if I'm a small business owner, a guy who is looking to build his personal brand, or I have a bigger company,
Right.
How would I find you?
How would you find me?
Yes.
How would you find me? You could find me either by emailing me, Kerry at kerrybarrettconsulting.com. You could find me on my website, which is kerrybarrettconsulting.com. Although my name is spelled a little bit differently, it's Kerry, so kerrybarrettconsulting.com. You could call me at 973-210-4952, or you could find me on any of the social media platforms as well, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, little TikTok, some Pinterest, whatever else is out there too.
You are everywhere, aren't you?
I try to be.
Awesome. So now we know how to find you. What we really want to know, though, is your Keep On Pushing story. We want to hear, Kerry, of a time when you had to overcome a significant hurdle or push yourself out of your comfort zone to go achieve something amazing. So please do tell. We want to hear your Keep On Pushing story.
Yeah, so I think my biggest keep on pushing story was overcoming my fear of public speaking. You may recall I just mentioned I had a 20-year career on camera as a television news anchor in New York City, of all places, was my last stomping ground. It's a big audience there. There's millions of people that are watching. And if you talk to anybody that I went to school with, high school or earlier than that, they would tell you that I was the last person on earth who they would have expected to ever be staring back at them from their TV screens. And that's because I was so shy and so quiet and fearful of anybody taking notice of me that I was the person in the back of the room who was afraid to sneeze in high school because I didn't want anybody even knowing that I was back there. I not only was I terrified of public speaking, but I was also exquisitely bad at it too. I mean, I was terrible. So it was by happenstance that I sort of stumbled on this passion that I have for telling stories with video. And I took an internship as a college student just to get some extra credits at a TV station. And it turned out that I loved it. So I had to figure out how to overcome this fear that I have about speaking in front of a group of 5, let alone a group of, 5 million. And so what I found, I wish there was some big epiphany or some great sort of nugget that I could provide that would give your audience all the answers. But the truth is, it's the consistent hard work every single day that pushes you out of your comfort zone and helps you improve. So for example, what that meant for me as I was overcoming this fear of public speaking was that I started by just taking really small bites. I would raise my hand in class. I would speak up, even if just for a couple of seconds at a meeting. And then eventually that turned into bigger bites and bigger bites and bigger bites until I found that I was no longer as terrified of it as I was. Where the real confidence, though, came in was when I realized that it didn't matter what was thrown my way, whether it was a complete technical meltdown on air during a newscast or a complete flub and misspeak on my part, of which I have had plenty. You can find them on YouTube. Please don't. But it was the knowledge that I was going to come out on the other side standing. I was still going to get a paycheck rather. I was still going to have my friends and family support me. And I began to learn that no matter what was thrown my way, I had the confidence to figure out how to get myself out of it. So if there was a complete technical meltdown, I could carry the show until the back of the house got things fixed again and we could progress. And when I knew that I could handle myself, whatever was thrown my way, it might not be pretty, but I was going to come out on the other side. That's when I started to feel like, okay, I got this thing figured out. And we still make mistakes, but I realized that at the end of the day, they're not going to be my downfall.
So although you were scared, you committed yourself to taking tiny steps, facing that fear. And eventually you got to the point where you felt comfortable.
Yeah. I realized that I had to keep taking these steps every single day. Every day I had to push myself out of my comfort zone. And it wasn't until I was already working as a television journalist that I finally got. If I had waited until I was comfortable on air to actually start applying to jobs, I would have never been in TV. It became about taking that risk, even if you weren't completely ready and everything wasn't lined up exactly the way that you want it to be. Sometimes it's about taking a smart risk before you're ready. It's sort of like that old saying goes, if you wait till everything is lined up and everything is the way it should be before you get married, you'll never get married. Or if you wait for the perfect time to have kids, you'll never have kids. You have to sometimes just take that risk. You have to leap, even when it feels hella scary to do so. And that's where the growth happens, not stupid risk, but calculated risk.
Is that the taking risk, recognizing that there's never a perfect time? Is that the biggest lesson, or is there another lesson you can share?
Taking risk, and I think even more so than before you're ready, it's taking small, consistent bites at that risk every single day, even if it means you make a fool of yourself. Like I'll share this story with you very quickly. I remember the first time I did a live shot, right? So I'm on TV and I'm out in the field and the anchors are talking about this event that's going on. And so Kerry, my maiden name was Hinkle. Kerry Hinkle is out at the blah, 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 and she's going to tell us about blah, blah, blah. Well, the blah, blah, blah was a blood drive. It was in November, right? Blood donations are usually down in the holidays. And I was out at a blood drive and I was trying to encourage people to go out and donate blood. And I remember I had been on a similar story as an intern, and I had watched the reporter do the same thing. And she had said, well, the parking lot is filling up and so and so and so. Her parking lot was filling up. Me, when I was there was not a car in the parking lot. Yet I was so scared, I couldn't think of anything else to say. So I'm like, you'll see the parking lot is filling up. And I gestured behind me to a parking lot with not a single car in it.
Or you should have added the word slowly.
The words were up, I couldn't do anything else. I'm like, what are you doing? But I realized, right, that was my first sort of baptism into live TV and making an error. And guess what? The show still went on. I still went back to the station. I went back to my apartment. I had dinner. Like, life continued. You know, do you want to do things like that in front of people? No. But that was my first introduction that you're going to make mistakes and it's going to be okay. And the world is going to keep on spinning. So taking those small steps. And if I hadn't been in TV, there's nothing that would have forced me to take those steps every single day. It was my job that made me do it.
Indeed. So take small steps. You're going to make mistakes, but you know what? Life goes on. Thanks for that story. Thanks for the amazing lesson, Kerry.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So guys, if you enjoyed this, if you found it valuable, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet, and hit that notification bell. You'll get a notification every single time we post one of these amazing videos. And don't forget to share it. Don't keep it. Your friends want to be inspired as well, right? So share it. And as always, keep on pushing.